Israel's president says his country is going through harsh and dark days. Hard to detect, perhaps, in the autumn sunshine in West Jerusalem, but talk to a few of those making the most of it, and the shadow of this political crisis is never far away.
The country has to be stewarded carefully and responsibly. And one questions how responsible that stewardship is going to be in the coming months, year.
For the first time, a sitting Israeli Prime Minister has been indicted for crimes he's alleged to have carried out while in office. But there are still plenty of Israelis who agree with him that the case is politically motivated.
They don't like Trump and they're going to get him. Just as the same thing with Bibi. A lot of people have had enough of him. Well, he's been there long enough, that's it. I'm not saying he's innocent, I'm not saying he's guilty.
In a sense, Israelis have got used over many months to the details of these indictments. The case has been set out at some length. So too, they've got used to Netanyahu's repeated attacks against the media and the legal establishment. Nonetheless, what happened on Thursday night was particularly stark, and it sent a political shockwave through this country. And through a system already stressed to breaking point. No functioning government, the prospect of a third election, and a Prime Minister attacking the legal establishment as he fights to stay in office.
The polluted investigation against me erodes the public faith in the system. They should worry every citizen. We have to put an end to this.
Israeli newspapers have featured editorials urging Netanyahu to resign for the good of the country, some calling on senior members of his own Likud party to engineer it.
It's not a big chance or a big possibility, but there might be some cracks within Likud or cracks in the 55 bloc of the right. Maybe, because the indictment now is final, maybe there will be some cracks there. This could be the political influence of this indictment.
What's clear is that Netanyahu intends to fight off all challenges to his position, be they legal or political, and if there's one thing he's learned in his decades in Israeli politics, it's how to survive. Harry Fawcett, Al Jazeera, West Jerusalem.
Rabbi Sable is professor of international law at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. He joins us on Skype from West Jerusalem. Thank you so much for your time. So considering how unusual, how rare this is it absolutely clear that a sitting prime minister can be indicted?
Yes, but he can claim immunity. He has to go to the Knesset, the Israeli parliament, and obtain immunity, and that's a long, difficult process, particularly since it's an interim government and there's no committee yet set up to grant him immunity. But there's no doubt it's a long, long process. We're not going to see an immediate conclusion to this process.
So you talked about the fact, obviously there's really this political stalemate. Israeli government is really in limbo. How does that complicate something like this? How do the two connect, the politics of this and the legality of it?
First of all, I think you should point out that it's a sad day for Israel that a sitting prime minister is indicted. However, it proves that Israel has a very impartial legal system and that nobody is above the law. So in that sense, although it's a sad occasion, Israelis can be proud of their judicial system. Judicial systems grind very slowly. So again, he can claim immunity. The indictment hasn't yet been presented to court. It's a long, long procedure. There's pressure on him to resign, but so far Prime Minister hasn't shown any signs that he's willing to or intends to resign.
And not only not showing any signs, he's using language like an attempted coup, having the investigators investigated. When you talk about the rule of law and the fact that in some ways it's a sad day, but you see that as a silver lining, that this is the rule of law, are you troubled by him using that type of language to sort of demonize the judiciary?
Somebody once accused him of being a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. In other words, as a prime minister, he's been very sober, very careful, very cautious. But when it comes to his personal issues, he's spoken in very vindictive and nasty language. So we have a sort of split personality. The prime minister on security issues has been very careful and is respected. However, when it comes to his personal life, there was a real problem there.
Okay, so the million-dollar question, how do you see this playing out? Is this something that can take months or years? I mean, it took years for the indictment to even happen.
It will take a long, long time, unless political pressure, perhaps from his coalition partners, will force him to resign. So far, we don't see any signs of that.
All right. Professor Ravi Sable, thank you, sir.
Thank you.